So we're going to start with residence questions. So Nicole, I hope you're ready. Your first question is, are there still spaces available in residence?
So at this time, we are full and we have started a wait list. Students are still welcome to apply, because if anyone does cancel, or if students come in September and decide that Canadore is not for them or residence isn't for them and we do have spaces open, we will then be pulling off our wait list. So it's a very fluid time for us, but at this time we aren't accepting folks right as they apply, but we are still taking applicants.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. The next question is, when is move-in day for residents and how long do we have to move in? And when will I receive more details regarding the move-in process?
Yep, so move-in weekend is September 3rd and September 4th, which is the Saturday and Sunday of Labor Day weekend, right before classes begin the following Tuesday. We have time slots that are going to be assigned to students, or rather they can pick their own. That's actually being sent out this morning. So if you're coming to residence, you guys kind of get an insider knowledge that check your emails later on this morning. You'll be getting an email to pick your move-in day and your move-in time slot, so you can actually choose when you want to arrive. The time slots are 1 hour long. Don't be afraid. 1 hour is tons of time, I promise, to move all your belongings into residence. If you don't think so, just remember you're only here for 8 months. If you can't fit it in a Ford Focus, then you're packing too much. So just don't fret about the 1 hour. We've done 45-minute time slots the past 2 years and it's worked out really well. So the time slot email will come later today. The actual steps for move-in, of where to go on move-in day, how to get your keys, all of those things will be coming out once the time slot period has closed, once you've actually selected your time slot. And you'll also be receiving an email in the next week or so regarding tips for move-in day. So what to bring, what not to bring, and just some general FAQ, this is what you should know for move-in day to go smoothly kind of tips. So just watch out for your email. If you've been accepted, all that's coming very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. The next question is, do you need to buy a parking pass for residents and on-campus parking?
Very, very important question. So if you are going to be bringing a car to campus, you must purchase a parking pass. And if you're going to be living on residence, please make sure to purchase the parking pass for the residence lot. It's listed very clearly in the options when you purchase your parking pass on the Securities website. Even if you're going to be going to the aviation campus, the commerce campus, or the main campus, your residence parking pass is actually valid for all campuses and residents. But if you only buy the aviation campus parking pass or the main campus parking pass, it's not valid for residents as well. So get that residence pass if you're living in residence.
Awesome. Thank you again. How does laundry and mail work in residence?
Yeah, so laundry is done by a card, so you don't need to worry about running out of quarters, because that's not a thing here anymore. It's 2022 and we're on a technology system. So you go into the laundry room with your debit card or cash, you purchase a laundry card, and then you load some funds onto the card, again, either with cash, credit, debit. And then from there, you just have your laundry card for the whole year. You tap it on the machine and it pays for your laundry. And then we have a laundry machine in all 3 buildings. On the main floor. So you can just go down there whenever you want. There's also an app that you can use or a website with our laundry system. So you can actually check to see if your laundry is done or how many minutes are left if you forgot to set a timer. So you can leave the laundry room and come back when your stuff's done and it'll tell you, oh, your laundry's done, go get it. For mail, all mail is sent to the college's mail system and then is picked up by the residents Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All students will have a mailbox for small letter mail and then a key to get into that mailbox so they can check their own mail. As far as packages that don't fit in those little boxes, we'll send you an email if you have a package so you can come to the desk and pick it up.
Awesome. That sounds great. The next question is if students can stay in residence for just 1 semester only and not the full year.
Yeah, so we do advertise residence as an academic year term, so from September through April. However, if your program is only September through December, please contact us and we can make exceptions for folks who have a letter from the program stating that they actually are in fact done in December. We'll make that exception for them on the back end, but everyone else is the standard academic term.
Awesome. Could a student potentially move into residence after their first semester?
So we have January start students as far as that's the first time of their program, or maybe, you're living off campus and you'd rather be on campus. You can definitely start living in residence at any time, as long as we have the space at the time. Just put in an application and we accept folks as spaces become available.
Awesome. Am I able to cook food in residence?
Yes, we are proud to say that we are one of the only residences I know of in Ontario that have full kitchens. So we have a full-size fridge and a full stove oven range combo in every single unit that you're only sharing with one other roommate. So it's really great for cooking, lots of storage for groceries and cutlery and dishes. So it's really a really conducive spot to eating healthy and not having to rely on, eating out all the time, where most residences will simply supply a microwave. So yeah, that full range is really great.
Awesome. Can we have pets in res?
We are a pet-free facility, so you'll be home again at Thanksgiving to cuddle your kittens and your puppies, but we are a pet-free facility.
Awesome. Can we have guests at residence?
With COVID, we had taken away the guest policy. However, this year we've brought guests back. So students are allowed to have guests in residence. You're allowed to have up to 2 at a time. Anything outside of that, we ask that you speak to the residence life department. Say if you're working on a project with a larger group of people and want to use one of our study spaces, for example. But typically it's 2 guests at a time. We ask that you sign them in at the front desk so that we know who's here in case of an emergency. And then you're allowed to have 10 overnights in a month, 2 consecutively, and we simply do that so that everyone is comfortable in their own space, so that one roommate isn't having someone stay for an extended period and encroaching on the other roommate's space.
Awesome. How do I get to residence from Pearson Airport or North Bay Jack Garland Airport?
Yeah, so we do not offer a shuttle from Toronto to North Bay or from our own airport to the residence, but there are very many options. If you search for the North Bay or the Northern shuttle service that runs from Pearson to North Bay, there's 2 buses that come every single day to North Bay, and that's typically the way that students will choose to get here. From our own airport in North Bay, so Jack Garland, to the residence, we simply recommend using a cab service because we don't provide an actual shuttle. Awesome.
Are there fitness facilities at residence?
Yeah, so each building has a small cardio room consisting of elliptical, treadmill, bike, and again, it's just a small little cardio room. I really recommend if you're looking for a full fitness experience, Canadore has amazing facilities, but it is just a little nice in-house feature should you want to, go for a morning run when it's 40 below in North Bay.
Makes sense. And what is mobile and internet coverage like at residence?
Really great. We've never had any issue with mobile service. And then we've actually just recently upgraded all of our internet in all of our buildings just at the start of COVID. So it really helped with students doing online programs with Zoom. So I can say with confidence that having 400 students on Zoom all at the same time, we saw very little issues and we were good to go for internet service.
Yeah, that's awesome. And actually, I learned recently that North Bay actually has one of the strongest internet connections in the country. So for the gamers out there, for everybody that needs a really great internet connection, you'll be covered. Does everybody have a roommate? And what if we just don't get along?
Yes, everyone has a roommate. All of our rooms are either double suites, so 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and bath, or quads, which is 4 bedrooms, a kitchen and bath. So everyone does have a roommate. If you don't get along, we have multiple avenues to explore there. Our residence life team are really great at helping to mediate roommate concerns. And at the beginning of the year, we actually promote and help facilitate roommate agreements so that you and your roommate can have constructive conversations to make agreements on how often we're going to do the dishes, who's going to be buying this, are we going to share milk, are we going to buy our own? All of those little things that you might not think become a problem, but sometimes become the little straws that break the camel's back over time. So we have those conversations at the beginning of the semester, and if problems arise, your RA can help to kind of be a third neutral party to help mitigate any roommate situations. And then from there, you can also, if it escalates to the management team, our residence life coordinator can help as well. And Worst case scenario, we can attempt to facilitate some roommate swaps near Christmas time if things are really going south.
Awesome. Is there a residence in Prairie Sound?
Unfortunately, no, we only have residences for Canadore at the North Bay campus.
Awesome. And who should I contact if I have any further questions about residence?
Yep, so our front desk is 24/7. So if you email us at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., we'll have an answer for you as soon as possible. Email or call is the best way to reach us, and it's info@canadoreresidence.ca for the email, and I'll put our number as well in the chat if I can. Yeah, so I'll put our contact information in the chat, and that email as well as that phone are monitored 24/7.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. We're going to move now to safety and security. So Trish, you're up. The first question is, what does the Safety and Security Office do on campus?
All right, thanks, Daryl. And I just want to let you all know that I am not part of the safety and security team, but they did provide responses to some of the most frequently asked questions. So I'm just going to share with you what they've provided for us. So what they do on campus, they are available and on site 24/7, and they patrol all the campuses and residences. They provide assistance to both staff and students by managing public safety through the campus facilities and residents. They can provide first aid. They're the first line of contact for any incidents or concerns regarding safety. And this includes sexual assault, violence reporting, and prevention. They're responsible for protecting students, staff, and property. They enforce our college policies, including our respectful college community policy. They do the safety reporting and investigations. They do the campus safety walk services. They'll direct you to the appropriate services, and they also enforce parking on all the college parking lots and property.
Awesome. What is the Canadore Safe app, and is it required for students?
So the Canadore Safe app, it is an app that you are able to download to your phone, and it provides you with the up-to-date information for both students and staff. And this includes things such as emergency contacts. You'll also have access to the friend walk. You can do a virtual walk home using it. You can also report a tip. You can check out any of the campus maps and other support resources that are available. And it's also important because it will alert you to any changes that are happening at the college due to weather. So in case there are any shutdowns because of snow, and you can download it. It is available on both your iPhone or an Android, and we can put in the link to the chat so you can download it if you haven't done so already.
So another question we've got is, how do we buy parking passes and when are they available?
Okay, so parking passes, they are available online, and you can purchase them by going to the parking services website. So we'll put the link to that in the chat, and there is a required form that you need to submit. The link is currently closed, but on August 22nd, it will open for the 2022-23 school year, and you can buy your passes starting on that day.
Awesome. So here's a big one. Do we need to wear masks on campus still?
So right now, it is not mandatory at this time, but if you feel comfortable wearing a mask, or if you want to wear a mask, it's all up to you. It depends on your discretion and your level of comfort.
Awesome. Do we need to do daily COVID tests?
So we don't need to do a daily COVID test, but do a personal assessment before coming onto campus. And if you're not feeling well, don't come onto campus. There are self-assessments available on the public health websites, and we can also put links to that in the chat so you can have access to that.
Awesome. Do we need to be vaccinated in order to come to campus?
So currently that is no longer a requirement to attend campuses.
Gotcha. And what do I do if I get sick and I think it might be COVID?
All right, so if you think it might be COVID, the best thing to do is follow the local ministry and health guidelines and don't come to campus. Feel free to stay home. There's also COVID-19 guidance tools available, and you can take a look at that, and it will guide you on the next steps. Things are always changing, so we always want to refer to the Ministry of Health guidelines about what to do if we're sick and a little bit symptomatic.
Awesome. How do you contact security?
So there are different ways to contact security based on where your location is. If you're at the College Drive or the Education Center campus, there are 2 cell phones that you can call. Also, the extension is 705-474-7600, and the extension is 5555. And Aaron's putting all the links in the chat. So there's contact information for College Drive Education Center for the Commerce Court. There's also extension 5636. There's the Campus Safety Walk, and that is 705-494-9192. And then also, if there is any emergencies on campus, you'll always want to call 911 for police, fire, or ambulance.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So now we are going to move to our Access and Inclusion Office, which means Ms. Erin Pleward is now on the call. And Erin, what is Access and Inclusion?
So essentially I'm your real life Siri. So when you're coming in, if you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, you need a starting point. You've already registered, you're in, but you're just looking for that next step. Come and see me. I'm located at 100 College Drive. So I'm up at the College Drive campus. You're going to have to walk past my office pretty much to go anywhere in the building. So walk by, give a wave. I'm in the Welcome Center, so just look to the right. You'll see me in there. I'm easy to access and find. Essentially, I'm here to connect you with both supports on and off campus. So if there's anything you're looking for, come to me, and I'll work with you to kind of overcome those barriers and challenges, or just make that connection you're looking for, to ensure that this is a good experience for you and you have all the information and resources that you need to be successful in your upcoming journey.
Awesome. If I want to use my preferred name instead of my legal name, how do I do this?
So preferred name changes can be done even before starting school. So you can reach out to me anytime. I'm going to put my information in the chat. So we can do that ahead of time, and just to make it a smooth transition, right? So your preferred name would appear on all of your front facing learning platforms. So like your D2L, self-serve. So when you log in, like your class is going to see your preferred name. So your dead name is dropped, which makes it a better experience, right? So I can work with you to ensure that that's all done ahead of time. As well, it'll be reflected on your bus pass. So you don't have to worry, that'll show up. We can get all that done ahead of time. It'll also show up your class list, the discussion boards, drop boxes, iLearn student profile. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else on the preferred name changes. I think that's it for the preferred name changes, but definitely reach out ahead of time so we can get that done well before you come here.
Awesome. And the last question, how do I know if I'm a first generation learner?
So first generation student, if your parents or guardians did not complete college, university, you're considered a first gen learner. So tutoring is free for you. There's also different bursaries available as well. They typically come out in the new year. So I connect you with all of that. I send out a monthly newsletter to all my first gen students, giving you some tips and tricks and kind of that inside information, right? So it's pretty much all the firsthand knowledge. I will help you with, bursary and scholarship workshops, time management, budgeting. You get, with your OSAP and being a student, you want to be able to make that money last, right? So I work with you to help kind of navigate these challenges and barriers and just make sure that you're in a good spot and you have all the resources that you need.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Thank you very much, Erin. And we're going to move on to the Health Center, which is another Erin Mitchell. So the first question, Erin, is what services does the Campus Health Center offer?
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin. My pronouns are she and her. So the Campus Health Center is a family doctor's office at 100 College Drive. We are like a family doctor's office home away from home. So if you're coming from anywhere else, we can help see you for any health issues that you might have, questions or concerns. We operate like a normal family doctor's office. We can do vaccines of any kind. Some of you may be in mandatory programs that you need to get a clearance card. There's a big long document all about immunizations that you need sometimes for your program. Say you might be in nursing or ECE, anywhere you're working with the public. So that's something that we can help you with. And we also help to provide the clearance card as well. So any vaccines you need for that. We also have a temperature controlled fridge. So we do get the questions asked a lot if we can store refrigerated medications. So you're not worrying about that in a dorm room or in a shared residence with other folks. So we can help you with that as well. Any kind of medical appointment that you would see with a regular family doctor, we can do that for you at the campus. We can even draw blood right in the office, and it goes, we send it off to the lab. Any STI testing, prescription refills, you're not feeling well, you need some help with some forms to be filled in for school, something like that. And we are open Monday to Friday. We even have evening clinics. So if you've got a tight schedule and you need to come at a different time, we can help you with that as well.
Awesome. Am I able just to visit the doctor at the campus health center?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we normally do is we try and book you an appointment. We do our best to fit you in as quickly as we can. We're pretty quick to get people in. If we are able to, we try and keep some spots each day for more urgent things, like you're really not feeling well, you've been throwing up a lot and you need to see a doctor sooner than later. We try and keep some same day spots to squeeze you in. It's always best to book an appointment. You don't want to leave those prescriptions till the very last day, but we definitely do our best to get you in as quickly as we can. You can call to book an appointment. You can pop into the office. We're located right between security and the bookstore. We have an email address as well. You can always email us if you have a question, or your question you're really uncomfortable asking in person or something like that and you'd rather type it out. We do have an email address as well. I can pop that in the chat.
Awesome. Can international students use the health center just as much?
Absolutely. One of the things that I think is really important for the international students coming in, they've got international student health insurance and they don't have our local healthcare insurance. And the difference that it makes coming in to see us is we will bill direct to the health insurance plan. A lot of students don't have the money to pay up front for healthcare. So at the campus health center, you just bring in your GuardMe insurance that the international office provides to you, and we will bill directly to your health insurance. All the other walk-in clinics and doctors' options in the city, you do have to pay upfront, and then you are responsible to submit the bill directly to the insurance company. So the campus health center will bill direct. The only other place it will bill direct is the hospital for emergencies.
Awesome. And the last question, what services can be provided remotely for students outside of North Bay?
So best thing to do is always check in and we'll see how we can help you. We always want to try and make it the most accessible that we can, even if you're at another campus. So we can offer telephone appointments, telemedicine appointments. We can go back and forth gathering the information ahead of time before an appointment. So just reach out to us and we'll find a way to help you. And if for some reason we're not able to help you, we can try and put you in touch with some healthcare options in your area as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We're going to move to the healthcare plan now. So that is going to be Lise Paxton. Lise, what is covered under the student health plan? Is dental covered?
Good morning. The student health plan, just to be clear, so the international health plan will have different, totally different coverage. So our domestic student health plan is, it's broken down into 3 different plans. So everyone's automatically enrolled into the balance plan, which covers, prescriptions and some paramedical services, like massage therapy, and the enhanced drug plan will have more coverage on the prescription end, a little less on the paramedical, and the third option would be enhanced extended, so heavier on the extended healthcare for massage therapy, physiotherapy, and a little less on prescription. So those are kind of the 3 plan types. Everyone, like I said, is enrolled and balanced, and then there is no vision or dental in this plan. And you can opt out of the plan or you can opt into a different option. So like I said, if you want to stay in the auto enrolled balance plan, you can stay with that one, no problem, or you can switch plans.
That's great. And so how specifically would I go about changing that plan?
So the opt-out or opt-in or switch plans date will be, the window will be open starting around September 21st. So you want to look for that, and it'll be open for a few weeks, and it'll be on the GuardMe /Canadore site. So that's for domestic students. International students have to stay in the plan. But I think Aaron's going to put that up in the chat, the international, or so the domestic student health plan link. If not, I can.
That's awesome. And is there a date that I need to opt out if I'm already covered under my parents?
Yes, so that opt-out window, like I said, they wait till the 10-day count, so until everybody's, our enrollment list is sort of finalized, and around the 20th of September, you can check the GuardMe site, and then there'll be 2 weeks in there, into around September 30th, where you can opt out, just providing a little bit of information about what your current health plan is that you're provided through your parents, and if you want to switch the plans, like I said, that's in that same opt-out window.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lise. First question, and of course, any of our panelists can answer these. First one is, where can I find off-campus housing in North Bay and Parry Sound?
I can speak to this a little bit. We do recommend a website for off-campus housing called Places for Students, and I can write it in the chat. And that is where any landlord can list their property for students of Canadore to be able to then kind of connect, because they know that they're in and around the community that Canadore has schools.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. And that'll be, like you said, in the chat. Second question, how can students avoid rental scams and fraud?
I can take that one,
okay.
Daryl. And Nicole, feel free to jump in if you have more information. So there have been issues in and around North Bay, but it is an issue worldwide, as most people know, where rental scams accept the application deposit and usually request it via e-transfer, and then afterwards, when the victim has already paid their first and last, the scammer cuts off contact. So there's some few tips here you can do. You can do more research online, but here are a few tips. So where possible, please go to the address, physically see the place, meet with the landlord that's there, make sure that they're present, and go through the apartment or home. Research the address to make sure it's not a duplicate post across other sites. Make sure, as I mentioned, schedule a showing and make sure the landlord is present then. And make sure that you're requesting a lease or a contract, and be sure to review it thoroughly. And make sure that you know your rights as a tenant. Another important thing is that if you do run into a scam, we highly encourage you to report it to the police. It's the only way that these scams are going to be kept under control. And as was mentioned a few minutes ago, Canadore does have an off-campus accommodation site that runs in conjunction with Nipissing University. So the links have now been posted in the chat. You can also go and look. I think we're just going to see what it's called. You can look, there's a site for North Bay, and then there's also a site for Parry Sound, but you can find it from the same link that was put in the chat already. So I know that's not a lot of information there. Nicole, maybe you can, if you have any other tips, that would be great. Aaron, did you want to, sorry.
I just want to touch, I know I put it in the chat, but I just wanted to let people know, I do have a fraud prevention officer coming in to do a presentation for students. I'm going to be running it a few times throughout the year, just so that students can ask questions and get that firsthand information from the actual fraud center that is based out of North Bay. So keep an eye out.
That's great. Thanks, Aaron. Nicole?
My only other suggestion would be, if you are very concerned that you might be getting into a situation that could be fraud, ask the landlord for, hey, can I have a reference for you? And it's very common for them to ask for your housing references, but ask if you could maybe get a reference for them of a previous tenant of theirs, to ask about the space and how it was having a rental with that landlord.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So we have a question for you, Aaron Mitchell. Is the medications fridge on a backup generator just in case?
Yes, it is. Several students that do store our medications on campus. As you're aware, some of those medications are very, very expensive. So our refrigeration system is on a backup generator. So even if there is no power in the whole school, the backup generator is running. We also have a few other fail safes. We have 2 alarm systems, one that goes to an alarm company that's monitored 24 hours a day. The other system is monitored by our security system, and then they have emergency contact information for me as well. So if there is an issue and we have to make an emergency transfer of all of our other medications, everything stays with the fridge, and we can store also at our local public health unit if there's going to be an issue as well. So it is very closely monitored.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. So Nicole, we are getting more residence related questions. So one question we just received was, how big is the space under the bed for extra storage containers?
It's about 1.5 feet. It's a little taller than a standard bed, but not as tall as certain residence beds. Like you don't have to jump in or get a little ladder to climb up to some beds like some campuses have. So it's about 1.5 feet. So it's relatively good storage space compared to, you know, a captain's bed or something like that.
Awesome. Nicole, another one just came in. Are we allowed to move the furniture in our room at all?
Yep, you are allowed to move the furniture around. We simply ask that when you leave at the end of the year, please put it back to where it was originally, simply because rearranging 600 rooms worth of furniture is quite backbreaking work. But if you just do your one room, it helps, little goes a long way.
That's awesome. And I just mentioned there is a virtual tour of residence if you did want to see it. So you'll just go to the canadorecollege.ca/join us website. I believe Erin just posted it in the chat, and you'll be able to see visually what your room is going to basically look like and how tall the bed is as an example, all of that stuff. So thank you very much. And we don't have a huge amount of questions right now. So we'll just have to wait. If there's any other questions from any of the attendees, please feel free to type it into the Q&A function. Erin, I see that you typed in where the events are posted, so that's great. We do have a question. Are we allowed to hang paintings or anything on the walls in residence?
Yeah, so we essentially operate on the policy of we expect the room to be given back to us the way we give it to you. So you can't put any nail holes in the wall or anything that actually permanently damages the wall. But if you want to hang photos, posters, etc., it is up to you to do so in a way that will not damage the walls, whether that is, if it's a command hook, we recommend to get the name brand ones because some of the other ones are a little harder on the paint. And removing them correctly is very important. Some students have used sticky tack in the past. That works pretty well. I just recommend getting the white sticky tack because some of the blue or colored sticky tacks can stain the paint and then you end up with a white wall with blue circles everywhere. But yes, you can hang things. It's just your responsibility to make sure that the hanging doesn't damage the surface being hung on to.
Awesome. So we still don't have any new questions, so maybe we'll just do a last call, so to speak. So if anybody does have any final questions, please get them in the next couple minutes, and then we'll close the session. So I'll leave it to last couple minutes for anybody to post any that they might have in the Q&A. And if not, we will end there. If anybody does want to leave, you're free to go. So don't feel like you got to stick around to the very end. So we do have a question. So Tenzin, I apologize. We don't have an admissions person on that can necessarily answer that question. But if somebody is in the Q&A as a staff member and wants to answer the international license prep when the fall term begins, please feel free to do so. We do have an anonymous question about meal plans. So again, this is a session that we're doing on safety, but you can purchase a meal plan. It's all done through Chartwell. So they will send you an email, I would assume, in the next couple of weeks, and you'll see your options right there on the page. So it's all done online. So that will then be put on your meal card, which is also your student card. So your student card will have your meal plan as well as your bus pass as well. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So we are just going to end the session there. So we do thank everybody that did join us, panelists, as well as obviously our attendees.